Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter, and as we wrap up Tokyo Game Show Week, I wanted to share my thoughts on the Monster Hunter Stories 3 news that we got, and impressions from my hands-on with the game, but in a less structured format as I do need to get sleep as I'm super excited for Omega, who is coming to Monster Hunter Wilds tomorrow. We got a new trailer, the March 13th release date, some stage shows, interviews, and TGS had a hands-on demo for both the PlayStation 5 Pro and Switch 2, but in handheld mode. They also announced Stories 1 and 2 are coming to Xbox, I believe, in November, and after watching the screens and seeing that the PS5 Pro was basically flawless, I decided to wait for the Switch 2 demo and got to try it out. I did find the resolution in handheld to feel a little bit lower and blurry, but that was the case I think with Monster Hunter Stories 2 as well, so I'm expecting it to look much better on a TV. But overall, the game ran really well. The franchise already has a great track record for performance, and this time is no different. I love that they aren't reinventing the game, and they're taking what worked and are just refining it. New to the game is the athletic field actions and swapping out monsters, and all that worked really well in the demo, and the stage shows had some really cool examples. Fighting alongside monsters was the big dream, and that was kind of perfected in the last game, so having them shine more through being able to ride them and do field actions was actually a really good move. They even showed off the hip check for Plesioth, which I was just on the ground laughing when I saw. And in case you missed it, they also have monsters have ranged and melee attacks, so you can do stuff like bring up a target reticle when you're in the air with Rathalos and spew a fireball at another flying monster. I believe that's an Acnosum that it's doing against here. And then you can fly down and start a battle from an advantageous position. Unfortunately, the demo itself was very much on rails, and there was no way to open up a menu to poke around, which is what I kind of wanted to do. Battle-wise, they stated that they didn't want to revamp the game, and while players felt that once you mastered a monster, it was a little easy to chain things together, this is the part that they wanted to, double down on. They believe that it's fun to learn a monster and to then punish it, but they want to make sure that there's many options and different approaches that you can do, so you're not just feeling like you're doing the same thing over and over again. The biggest change in the battle was the Wyvern Soul Gauge. This is basically like a stamina system for monsters. You'll see this little red thing underneath their health, and it represents, I guess, their fighting spirit. Breaking parts will significantly reduce it, and once it's all down, you'll get a topple or send the monster into a fatigued state. This is important not only because they added a new Synchro Rush move where you can do lots of damage and build up kinship gauge when the monster is toppled, but now you need to be more selective on where and when you hit because the new Pharaoh monsters have some pretty cool mechanics. First is the crystal encroachment on them, which is affecting their body, and you can see visual crystals on their body. If you attack those parts, they'll do powerful backlash attacks, so you do have to strategize how and with what you hit them with. The changes in their body result in Pharaoh monsters being able to use elements that they normally would not, and that leads to some new cool variations. We learned that by defeating the Pharaoh monster in an area, it will unlock the subcamp there, which is a nice progression and reward system. Overall impressions is that the game plays and looks just amazing. I loved Stories 1 and Stories 2, and even more this seems like a great evolution of the game. The first one had that kind of like kiddie feel, and it was kind of just getting used to what is a rider. The second game felt a little bit more youthful and more adventurous, and this time it's definitely more mature. They said they really wanted to push the RPG part of this game, which is why the main character talks and emotes and is very much involved in the story. Of course, you can customize them. The main character, you can choose either it to be the prince or princess, and you're also able to change like their hair and their eye color and stuff like that. Just overall, the characters all seem more mature and the story seems more serious. The game takes place 200 something years after the last games, so the whole what are riders topic is well behind us, and we walk into an established world. And even our main character is an ace rider at the start and have their Rathalos to ride on from the very first chapter. Rudy is our new sidekick, and Navidu does not appear in this game, they said. The main character didn't talk in the previous games, which is why Navi kind of fulfilled that role to talk for us, and this is a title where they wanted to move away from that young comic feel and do something more mature and cinematic. So having a comical character like Navidu would be a little bit off. They said to think a bit like they're moving away from gags and moving it more towards humor. So there is going to be lighthearted parts, and that is where Rudy comes in. Funny enough, the voice actor for the Japanese character is the same voice actress. One thing that I'm really looking forward to, because I mean the overall story, I'm not that much into like human versus human type of things, but it seems like it's going to be more like two warring kingdoms learning to come together to solve a common threat. So maybe it won't be so much the humans versus humans type of thing. But one thing that they mentioned in an interview, which I thought about and I was like, okay, that's going to be really cool, is that in the past games you'd get introduced to new characters like once a chapter and slowly evolve your team. This time everyone's heading out as an established group from the very start, so you'll be able to swap and choose from team members from the very beginning and have more freedom in your party composition. Overall, I mean, what can I say? Stories 2 was amazing. If you haven't played it yet and you can only play 1 or 2, I would just play Stories 2 since it was the natural evolution of the first game, and I imagine this is going to be similar to that. Game looks great, felt great to play, and I'm going to personally play it on PC. Now, the game still isn't coming out for like half a year, so I imagine they still have a lot of things up their sleeves to show us. One thing that I'm hoping for, and is kind of rumored because of the Tobi Kadachi that we saw in the trailer, had a very different looking color scheme. I hope that they bring back the idea that you can breed monsters so that they have an elemental alignment that visually changes them. That's something they had in the first game, but they removed in the second. I've seen people in Japan also asking for that, so I can see this being a popular feature that they might bring back. It's also cool just seeing all the new monsters. Like we got to see, like when you're flying around in that demo that they had, we had like Somnicanth, Acnosums, of course the Ray Dao and his awesome companion attack. Actually, I'm going to play some of the companion attacks with just sound, not me yapping, because they're so cool and are kind of like the highlights that we get to see every time they show off the game. So enjoy these.
すごい遠くから来ますね。うわー、もう見えないぐらい攻撃の。おお。こっちよ。うわー。いやいやいや、まだやるか。まだあそこで決めたわけではなかったですね。まだやる。ここで攻撃ですね。はい。I got it! Oh, いよいよレダウン。おお、すごいすごい。早っ。いやいやいやいやいやいやいやいや、やったな。こんなパワー秘めてたんですね。
But yeah, let me know down in the comments below what part of the TGS footage excited you the most, what you're most curious about that they haven't announced, as maybe there'll be a chance for someone like Rurikon or another creator or something to ask Capcom and we would like to get an answer. Yeah, and just let me know your general thoughts. Hope you guys enjoyed my random video of just rambling on about all the news for Stories 3, but it is going to be great. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy writing.